What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another Outlier episode. As always, I got my Coke Zero with me.
Yes, sir.
We're trying to get a
Excited to be
sponsor.
back. Oh, that would be awesome, huh?
Yeah.
Coca-Cola is one of the biggest companies in the world, dude.
Does Frito Lay own Coca Cola, or is it like
No,
no,
not yet. No,
not yet?
PepsiCo owns. No,
You know something I don't.
no, bro. Actually, those are like the two highest companies. And what you don't know, what people don't know, is that even though they're enemies, they low key work together to eliminate any other up and coming company. That's a
Yeah.
fact.
Hmm.
It's kind of like my enemy of my enemy is my friend type
Yeah.
of deal.
Yeah, because they both want to be the dominant one, right?
Exactly. They're both established already, so it's like somebody comes up, they team up and take
Well,
them
so
out.
is it Frito Lay with Pepsi, right?
Frito Lay has Pepsi products, so that's like Mountain Dew. That's I don't even know all the drinks, bro. But there's a ton of drinks like
Oh,
Manzanita.
Manzanita, that's fire. That's a really good one.
There's a bunch of them, bro. There's a bunch. I think Fanta too.
Okay. All right. Well, anyways, we're gonna start this off with the Would You Rather. This one again is from Estevan. He says, "Would you rather Mike Tyson uppercut a baby for $1 million, or get kicked in the balls by a professional soccer player for $100,000?"
Oh my god.
So
Might I might just have to take a kick to the nuts.
for $100,000 by a professional soccer player,
Yeah, I'm gonna kill a baby, bro.
you think you're that trying to kill a baby?
No!
Nah, I don't know about
You
that.
see that, cuz?
Nah, that baby just gonna get up and walk away.
Maybe if it's Golovkin.
Maybe. Nah, I think
Which,
fuck, man. Part of me is like $1 million, you know? But I think I would get kicked in the nuts too, just because I couldn't live with myself if I fucking knock out a 2-year-old, you know? Boom! Hell no, bro. Imagine. You have $1 million, but you're like, yeah, that's the guy that knocked out that baby.
yeah, what's it gonna matter at that point?
Yeah,
You know what
no.
I mean? And
Yeah.
it's a Mike Tyson uppercut, so you gotta do the dip all the way down here.
Yes, sir. You
Sus!
gotta charge it up. Boom!
You gotta hit him with the lift. The anger, man. Yeah.
All right, well, there's your answer, guys. Again, if you have a would you rather, feel free to comment it. We will definitely mention it in the next one. Okay, so the first topic is there's this new Netflix series that I haven't watched yet, but I found it so interesting. I was like, man, we have to at least mention this, right? Talk about it briefly. So there's this fertility doctor who uses his own sperm to impregnate clients. Have you heard about this?
Briefly from what you had mentioned earlier, but no, I haven't heard of it prior to that at all.
Yeah, so obviously he abuses his power and impregnates his own clients with his own sperm. Let me read something real quick that I have here. So it says, during the 1970s and 80s, a fertility specialist in Indiana named Dr. Donald Klein inseminated dozens of patients with his own sperm without their knowledge or consent. The stories of some of these women and at least 94 biological children of Klein, 94,
Shoot.
are told in a new documentary, Our Father, which premiered on Netflix in May.
Wow. Hey, but I want to know, since it wasn't with the females knowing and without their consent, what did he tell them that he was doing? Because
Um,
he's a fertility doctor.
yeah,
I guess
isn't that who you go to when you want to get pregnant, right?
exactly. So how is it not in their knowledge
Well,
that it
maybe.
was his specific sperm?
Yeah, I mean, he just didn't tell him, right? So I'm sure these women are like, "Oh, help me get pregnant," and so he goes, "Okay, give me your partner's sperm, and we'll." I'm sure this is a process, right, to speed it up or give him a better chance. So I'm guessing
Yeah.
he would obviously switch whatever sperm they wanted with his, right? and so
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's what happened.
I didn't know they were doing this type of crap in the 1970s, dude. I didn't know
I
there was a doctor for this at that time.
I thought this was relatively new, like technology and stuff, right? Like
Yeah, me too.
I don't know. That's crazy, but I just thought we had to talk about that because like he had what was it 94
Yeah.
over they said at least 94. So he probably has more than that. That's got to
I,
be a record. Nah, it's not cuz
nah,
Genghis
bro.
Khan, right? You know who Genghis Khan
Yes,
is?
yes,
Yeah.
yes.
He's
Bro, listen, bro. I had this theory when I was like a young kid growing up that I wanted to have as many children as possible with as many as women as possible. I don't know why, bro. Like I was growing up and I was like, dude, that's something that I want. Like I want a bunch of children, different ethnicities, different backgrounds to just grow up and then I don't know. Is that kind of like is that like a narcissistic thing?
I think so. I mean, I've
Right?
yeah, I've never had anything like that before. I don't even like I know I want kids, but it's just like I'm not in any rush, and I don't think I would be upset either if I don't have kids. At least not you
Really?
know like I don't think about it like that.
Mm.
It's something that's like I look at like if it happens, great, you know. But if it doesn't, I'm not gonna lose sleep over it.
I know a lot of people are deciding that they just don't want to have kids or it doesn't really matter like the way you feel. That's kind of I can see it, but it's kind of weird for me personally because I've always wanted to have children. Always, dude. That's always been
Well, you want a big family, right?
yeah, I want a minimum of 5 kids. And I guess that's big in today's standards, but that's not that big of a
Yeah,
family
that's
and
not that big. I think big is like 7. That's that
right?
or I think 6 is like the border, right? You have 6 fucking kids. That's insane. Like I feel bad when I see parents out and about and they have like 5 rugrats running around causing, mayhem. I feel bad, dude, cuz like man, like so much attention needed for every single one of those kids.
We see it's talked very down about nowadays, like kind of like what you're saying, but I feel like we're in a better position now than we ever were to have kids. Like back in the day, in the 90s, in the early 90s, people were having like 10 kids.
10.
Like that was the norm thing. Why? Because there's no like efficient protection and all this type of stuff. And they did it I wouldn't say just fine, but they got through it. I mean, humanity's here. I think if we're in a spot to do it, it's gonna be now.
Yeah, for sure. But you definitely shouldn't go around impregnating people, I don't think, right? But
No, I'm obviously my perspective has changed. With monogamy and all these other things that have been, you know, implied in me.
yeah, so the next topic is something that actually happened, I want to say a day or two ago, is the Texas mass shooting that just happened. It was in an elementary school. Do you hear about that? I know you live
Yep.
in Texas, right? So
Yeah, I live in Texas. It's going crazy over here. Everybody like in my social media is sharing it. Obviously, I have my own podcast, so people are asking me to talk about it. It's hard, bro. It's hard to even fathom it. It's hard to even want to talk about it, and then how to come up with a solution. All of it is just a shitty situation, and I honestly don't even know where to start. Like I don't know how to feel about it. Like I know people are like sharing it and stuff like that. And maybe this is wrong of me, but I don't like to think about it too much because it makes me feel, I don't know, bro, like sad and mad. Like, I don't know, it makes me feel weird. So I try to discard it. You know what I mean? Whenever I
yeah,
hear crap like this, especially with kids. But at the same time, I feel guilty for feeling like that because I feel like I should be doing something about it.
well,
You know what I mean?
does that worry you because you want to have kids yourself? Do you think like, man, my kid could have been going to that school, or you're gonna be a father soon? So do
Yeah.
you think about things like that? Like,
Yeah, 100%. Like my friend, his wife, he just got married a couple days ago. His wife is 2 days due before my wife is. So we're gonna
Oh
have our
man.
kids literally in the same week. And he was talking about in the chat that we have that he's gonna have his kids homeschooled or his child homeschooled. I'm not taking it there. I think that
Wait,
our
is
children.
that strictly for like safety reasons or
Yes, yeah.
yeah?
So he shared it. And he's like, dude, I'm sick and tired of all this bullcrap going on, like all these mass shootings. Like my child's gonna be homeschooled, and I let him like I didn't want to argue with him on that because that's everybody's choice. But um, yes, there's the fear there that something like this can happen. But at the end of the day, I feel like it's very important for kids to be able to socialize with other kids.
Yeah.
Psychologists have proven that if kids fail to incorporate social skills before the age of 4, they're going to grow up antisocial, and eventually people are going to like not want to hang around them because they're just awkward. Nobody wants to hang around with them. I believe that that's very important, which is why my children will go to a public school. Even if like I decide to put them like how there's like those special schools like for higher education.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I mean I'm considering doing something like that. Just as long as there's like a good amount of kids where they can socialize and not just be like you know
Yeah, I
locked in
mean,
the room all day.
I agree. I think it's super important to throw your kid into a social circle where he's forced to interact with other people and find who he is through that, you know? Like if you think about it, even like I know this probably sounds fucked up, but um I think like having a bully, right? Being bullied is like I think that's a lesson to be learned. That's something that you have to overcome. You have to stand up to the bully. You have to, voice your opinion. You have to make sure you let him know you can't fuck with you. You know that's something you can't get if you're homeschooled, right?
100%.
So I think that's important. You have to go through these things as a kid to shape who you are. You know.
Yeah, and we hear all these things. I know me growing up, it's like anti-bully, like we need to end bullying, right? And not that
Hmm.
you and I right now are trying to promote bullying. It's not that we're trying to promote it, but it's just kind of like the way of life. Like that's just the way the world
Yeah,
is. It's like
you're always gonna run into assholes no matter where you
it,
go.
not even in school either. It's like at
Yeah.
work you come across assholes. Like
Hmm.
different places you're gonna run into it. So I don't buy this notion of parents trying to overly protect their kids from the world because they can't be there with their child once they grow up, and then sooner or later that person, that kid, is gonna have to grow up and face it anyways. Why not allow them to face that early where they're still in your supervision, when they're still in your protection, instead of allowing them to be 20 years old, getting picked on as if they're like a kid and then them not being able to handle that.
Yeah, you can't shelter your kids too much from the world. You have to, let them fly. You can't hold them and protect them forever. So I feel it's important. That's what I would do with my kid. I'm definitely not homeschooling my kid if I have a kid.
For
You
sure,
you gotta
bro.
you gotta fight your own battles. You gotta figure yourself out. I can't protect you all the time.
I see where parents can get scared because I've been in like obviously I grew up in a public school and like there are some crazy crap that goes on, bro. Like out there. I'll share a quick story. I live in a small town, 3 middle schools. One of the middle schools is known to be like all the troublemakers. There was an incident where this is in 7th grade. One student, they were all a group of friends. It was like 4 of them, I think. 3 of them held one of them down, and the other guy stuck a phone up the guy's butt,
Oh God.
and they started to call it so it can ring. All this videotaped, bro. That thing spread so quick to all 3 middle schools, and everybody saw it. I didn't have a phone at the time, but I got to see the video. That's just crazy, bro. Listen, I'm not promoting that, but what I'm saying is that like I can see why parents can get frightened because of things that like that happen. But
Hmm.
at the end of the day, like the world is crap like that, dude.
Yeah, I mean, you have that's a chance you have to take. That's just something that you have to see that. I mean, that obviously you don't want that to happen to your kid, right? But
Yeah, dude.
that's just, I mean, it's part of life. Sorry, it sucks.
But to be fair, like this is why you need to be smart about who you hang around with because they were all friends, but they were all the biggest troublemakers in the school, bro.
Yeah, but if you raise your kid right, your kid's not gonna allow somebody to stick a phone up their ass. Up, you know
Exactly,
what I
bro.
mean? So,
Or position put themselves in the position where that's gonna happen.
or that's even considered. You know, you
Yeah.
want your kid to be the one shoving the phone up the ass. You know, the,
Whoa!
if
Chill.
if anything, you know, if you gotta pick a side, you want that side.
I would have rather have the kid just holding them down, you know? No, I'm kidding. No,
uh,
yeah, bro, but it's a scary thing, but I don't know what needs to happen. I know something needs to happen. I don't know what. What do you think needs to happen?
I mean, there's no answer to that. You know, it's just humans. Humans are always gonna bump heads, and humans are always gonna have flaws. So I think this is definitely not the last shooting. This is definitely that was definitely not the last time someone's gonna stick someone's phone up their ass. You know, that's gonna happen again. It's just gonna keep happening. I mean, I don't know if there's an answer to that.
I totally agree, which is why people want me to talk about it on my podcast, but I don't see myself talking about this topic for 45 minutes because I don't know what needs to happen. More security or like more top security. I feel like the schools generally do are a pretty good job of allowing people in and out. Like I know here in our county, you need to show an ID, like you need to leave your information at the front, blah blah blah. Obviously, and they won't let you in. But obviously, if somebody comes in with a gun, they're gonna come in anyways.
Hmm.
So what do you do? Like I don't understand. Like I just don't understand what else we need to do.
Yeah, I mean,
If somebody's out to do something like that, they're gonna find a way to do it anyways.
yeah, they're gonna get it done.
And
Even if you had like fucking 5 cops at every school just standing at the front door, like it's not gonna change because they could just fire at the cops as soon as they get there. You know, there's always if they want to be violent, they're gonna be violent. Simple as that.
Mhm. Yeah, but maybe 5 cops would have stopped all those kids from dying.
Yeah. So let me play this clip here real quick.
Gruesome news. 14 dead children at this elementary school, Robb Elementary, there in the small town of Uvalde, Texas, which is about 90
Uvalde,
miles or
Texas.
so west of San Antonio. One adult also killed, so 15 total. We had been told here in the last few hours that many of these victims were rushed to an area hospital there in Uvalde. Some others had been transported to a hospital in San Antonio as well. But the details exactly of how all of this unfolded are still not exactly and entirely clear. But we do know that it was around noon time here, Central Time.
So gunman at Texas elementary school kills 19 students and 2 adults before being fatally shot, officials say. So he killed 19 students at an elementary school. What's the oldest you can be in the elementary school? Was that 11, 12? So
I think 11 if you fell a grade, 12 if you fell 2 grades.
yeah, so
Because
he just
fifth
killed.
grade, fifth grade, you're what, 10, right?
Yeah,
Or are you 11? Yeah, you're
I
10.
think 9, 10. So he killed a bunch of 10-year-olds, 19 10-year-olds.
It takes a special evil to be able to kill children, bro.
This guy was 18 years old himself, which the last guy that in the last shooting we talked about was also 18.
18,
So
yeah.
these, if you think about it, these are guys that probably just turned 18 and just barely were allowed to buy a gun. Now that I think about that,
These are kids are just graduating high school
Mhm.
themselves.
But they just turned 18, so they're allowed to purchase a firearm. So this is probably something that's been in their heads for a while, right? But I can't buy a gun yet, right?
I mean, maybe, bro. But the
Or
thing
you
is,
think it's just a coincidence that they happen to be 18?
it could be. I think that's might be a little bit of a reach because here in Texas, bro, everybody has a gun.
Younger than 18?
No, but the thing is, the people in this guy's household probably has guns.
Yeah, so they probably could have grabbed one, right?
Right. Yeah, yeah. What I mean by that is like guns are very easily to come across here in Texas.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you really want to do that, you probably could have borrowed one from a
Well,
friend or
I think
whatever.
in America in general, I mean, I think it's rare for most people probably listening to this have a gun themselves or know someone that has a gun. 100%.
Maybe. I mean, do you have a gun in your house?
And yeah, my dad has one.
Okay.
It's not mine, but my dad
Yeah,
has
no,
one.
but there's a gun. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm thinking about getting a gun myself, man. I don't know if I think I did tell you. So there was this one incident where I was driving under a underpass, and I don't know if this guy was homeless or I don't know what his deal was, but it was late at night, maybe like 12 at night. And as I'm driving by, it looks like he's crossing the street, but as I get closer, he's running at me, the car, the only car in this whole intersection. So he's running at me, and I swerve, and obviously dodge him. And I'm like, what the fuck was that guy doing? And I look in the rear view mirror, and he's still running at my car. And then I see he's holding something that looks like a knife. I'm pretty sure it was a knife. So he's running at my car with a knife. And in my head, I'm like, damn, bro, what if I had like slammed on the brakes, right? And I'm like, bro, like, what are you doing? Are you okay? And then he comes up to me with the knife. So I'm like, fuck, man, like, what would I have done? I have nothing. I don't have a knife. I don't have a gun. He has a knife. He could have done something bad to me if I had decided to stop, right? So I'm like, fuck, man, you never know when you're gonna need to protect yourself.
100%, bro. 100%. That shit's scary, dude.
Do you think I should have called the cops on that guy?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, you told me that story, and you're like, I should have probably called the cops because they could have come. They could have come across somebody else, or somebody else could have stopped for them.
Uh-huh.
Or that guy could have probably even got smarter. Like, oh, I scared that guy off. Let me try to just stop the next one. You know what I mean? Like,
Mm-hmm.
you probably could have saved somebody that night, cuz.
I decided not to for whatever reason. Maybe just because, I mean, why would I want to bother the cops? I always feel like it's that 911 is for like emergencies, and I don't know.
Really?
Maybe a
That's not-
crackhead in the underpass is not an emergency to them, you know?
No, but I mean, come on, bro. People call the cops because their cat is stuck on a tree.
Yeah. So one thing I learned, I don't know if you guys knew this listening to the podcast, but I used to go to school to for fire tech, which is basically learning about fire technology and stuff. And I was gonna be a fireman. And one of the things that they had taught us was that whenever you show up to a scene, no matter how ridiculous the situation is, just do your job and don't judge, don't treat them differently regardless of what their emergency may be, right? Because firemen are usually one of the first ones to show up to 911 calls. So that's something that we were taught. And so the professor went to give us some examples, and he talked about how he's gone to calls where people call 911 for like a stub toe that's bleeding, literally, like shit like that. He's like, you're gonna get some of those, and you can't, because everyone has a different definition of what an emergency is.
Yeah.
So you can't treat them differently. Just give them service, and then if you want, make fun of them after you leave. That's what he said. I was like, cool.
Yeah. So basically, you have to treat every call as a top priority.
Yeah.
That's a good thing to practice. I like that.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, well, now that we got that topic done, we're gonna talk about Canelo versus Triple G. Number 3 was just announced today, as of Tuesday, May 24th. It was just announced. They're doing a third fight, which I'm so fucking excited for. I can't wait.
This This proves a couple of things for me. Is first of all, that Canelo is still that guy that can call the shots, bro. Like he's people still want to see him fight that much that he's able to fight Triple G because when he lost his last fight, people were worried like, we're not gonna get the Triple G fight. We're not gonna get the Triple G fight, and this just proves that that is not true. He's still relevant. He's still one of the greatest fighter to ever exist, and he can still make that fight happen. So
Yeah, I'm excited. He definitely, when it comes to Bivol, I don't know if that's how you pronounce it. When it comes to him, he's definitely not the shot caller anymore. Because if they were to rematch, it would be on Bivol's terms now, since Canelo lost. So definitely.
do you think so though?
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Since he lost, he has all the cards in his hand. If you want a chance to beat me, you have to agree to these terms, and that's just how it works in boxing.
I believe that in a hierarchy sense, but I think boxing even more than UFC is more business centric than anything. Like they're only gonna make the business moves, kind of like Mayweather. There's like this theory that they protected Mayweather because or they protect a lot of fighters actually. They protect a lot of them to keep them undefeated because they all they care about is the money aspect. So this is my theory. Bivol fighting somebody else would not make as much money as Bivol fighting Canelo.
Yeah.
So maybe the promoters will still cater to Canelo's rematch.
Yeah, but
over Bivol's call.
yeah, but if you're Bivol, why if I don't know, this guy from what I've seen looks like a very humble guy. So if he's someone who doesn't really care about money, why wouldn't you just, if you don't care about money, you just care about status and like what you've achieved. He's an Olympic boxer, like with like hella fucking
Accolades.
yeah, accolades. So if you're him that just cares about accolades, that's one of the best accolades you could have. The only guy that's ever beaten Canelo besides him is Floyd Money Mayweather, the best boxer, if not. No, yeah, I would say he's the best boxer now since Canelo lost, but probably the GOAT, right? The only other person who's ever beat Canelo is the GOAT. So now that you have that in your resume, like why would you risk losing to Canelo again? You already got the win. What else do you need?
Yeah, no, I agree with you.
The only reason you rematch is for money. That's it.
But that's what I'm trying to say is that like if I'm Bivol, like I walk away and I'm good, right? I'm content with my performance. I don't need a rematch. I beat him fair and square. I battled that out. But what I'm trying to say is that boxing, especially the promoters and the people, because these boxers are signed on contract to the promotions. And so let's say Bivol's contract says, okay, Bivol, you have 3 fights left before your contract ends, before we either resign or you can retire. You have to do a rematch with Canelo. No, there's no negotiating that. So it can either be this next fight that you do or the following fight, but you're not getting an option. That's what I'm saying is that I believe that the promoters have that much control over these fighters once they sign that contract.
Yeah, it could be. I mean, I don't know. I'm not into the world of boxing that much. I'm just more of like a casual viewer more than anything, but could be how it works. I mean, you talk about people protecting Mayweather. If you look at Mayweather, yeah, he's beaten some of the best boxers alive. But from what I've heard, but he fought this guy out of his prime. He fought this guy when he was too young. He fought this guy coming off an injury. He fought like there was always an excuse as to why he beat this guy that was great, was because he timed it perfectly to fight him at his worst, So, yeah. And then there was also the conspiracy that the refs were paid to help Mayweather. I've seen lots of clips of like there's this one where Mayweather gets rocked, right? Like he almost got knocked out, and then the ref goes stop, and he separates them and then resets them for no fucking reason. No reason at all.
I've seen a lot of those clips too, but the big one, bro, was that when he was getting rocked, bro, and then like the ref separates him for like a split second, and then the fighter puts his hands down and was like, you know what? And Mayweather punches him twice, knocks him out. Dude, that fight pissed me off so much. And here's the thing: I'm not a huge boxing fan,
Yeah.
and I'm not a. I don't hate Mayweather, and I'm not the biggest fan either. I admire his game, and I admired boxing at the time too. So I was just watching the fight for what it was. But watching Mayweather win that fight the way he did left a bad taste in my mouth about Mayweather. And from that point on, I was like, oh, this guy rubs me the wrong way just because of that fight, bro.
Yeah. I think I know what you're referencing. Like the other guy kind of is like, what the fuck?
Yes.
And looks at the ref, right? And then Mayweather, boom, sleeps his ass. but then he came out and said, well, like, oh, you're supposed to protect yourself at all times and shit. But it's also like, come on, man. You know he wasn't. He thought there was a break or something. But anyways, real quick before we end this, this is a quote that Canelo said that I fucking love, dude. I love this quote so much. I want to take part of it. Nah, I don't know if I would go that far, but I want to take like part of it or paraphrase it and like make it into a poster or something because I love this quote. But this was after the Bivol loss. So he said, "My heart hurts, but I want to tell you that in this life, he who doesn't take risks, doesn't have goals, never gets anything done. If you are afraid to lose, you become nothing in life. I want to let you know this will only make me stronger. You can only imagine what's coming." And that, dude, I love this quote just for mostly this part right here. He who doesn't take risks, doesn't have goals, never gets anything done. If you are afraid to lose, you become nothing in life. I love that part, bro. I think that's like, I can't believe a fucking boxer said that, right?
I mean, I've heard that shit said in so many different better ways, but no, it's true.
Well, this is translated from Spanish to English, so
Yeah.
it probably sounds better in Spanish.
Yeah. I mean, because that's the way it was meant to be, or that's the way it was wrote.
Yeah.
But yeah, Les Brown talks about that, who is a motivational speaker and who has a background in order to speak and topics like that and make it actually sound cool. But I see where you're coming from, and yeah, bro,
dude,
I mean,
that guy's such a champion, bro. Like I remember when he lost, I was so upset, so sad for him, right? No, for Canelo. Oh yeah, when he lost against Bivol, I was so upset for him because I was like, man, his legacy, bro. Like, fuck, he lost. Like, I can't believe it. This has to hurt him. He hasn't lost since Mayweather. This has to hurt. And obviously, he said it does hurt, but he took it like such a champ, dude. He literally turned something negative and said, oh, I'm gonna make something positive out of this. You guys just wait and see. I'm like, fuck, bro. That's what makes you a champion right there. Fucking heart of gold. Couldn't be like me, bro. I would be bitter. I'd be like, fuck that motherfucker. I'm gonna catch his ass slipping.
Oh, George Masvidal.
I'm gonna catch his ass at the bar. You know what I mean?
No, yeah, bro, 100%. It's like the Rocky Balboa when you said it's not about how hard you.
I've never seen that movie.
Well, he has this famous quote that a lot of boxers quote. It's not about how hard you hit. It's about how hard you get hit and keep moving forward.
Yeah, that's a great quote as well.
You know? That's kind of like what Canelo said in that long ass paragraph you just said in 6 words.
I fucking love that quote, dude. All right, but anyways, guys, again, if you guys have a would you rather, please comment it down below. We will be sure to read it in the next one. Any topics you want us to discuss as well, we're open to ideas. And as always, guys, thank you guys again. Make sure you drop a like, subscribe, and a comment, and share the podcast with a friend if you liked it. Other than that, anything else you want to say?
That's it. See y'all later.
All right. Good night, guys. Good night, whatever. Morning, whatever. Bye.